Our next presenter coming to the stage, Lyn Severance. With her, you all know Lyn. Yeah. All right. With her presentation, Unfinished Business.
Well, okay, let's do it. Let it rip. Hi, I'm Lyn Severance, and tonight I'm going to tell you about some unfinished business of mine. It's an unfinished quilt. I went to art school to major in metalsmithing until I spent an entire semester pounding on a flat sheet of metal to form a 3D vessel. With no idea of what I wanted to do instead, I dropped out and accompanied my best friend in her junior year abroad to Scotland. This is Scotland. The plan was to find work while Wendy attended the University of Edinburgh. That's Wendy. What I did not know about was the idea of work visas and things like that, so I had some time on my hands. Edinburgh was amazing, but it was also very gray, damp, and cold. It was so cold. I needed a quilt, so I got to work and I designed one, an alphabet quilt. This was my first sketch. Without a sewing machine, I started with an A, hand sewing, applique, embroidery, a little trapunto here and there, and I ended up with Z, skipping 5 letters whose designs I wasn't quite satisfied with. It took me all year in Scotland to make these 21 pieces, but during the making of them, I discovered that I wasn't so enamored with the craft of making. It was the design process that moved me. Almost to the week, 50 years ago, I found the Edinburgh College of Art library. It was a magnificent building full of art and design books open to this unemployable young American, and best of all, it was warm. It was there that I dove into my self-study of design, typography, calligraphy, textile design, color, and illustration, and where I made the quilt design. A light bulb went off for me. I loved the design process, illustrating each letter, working with letter forms, finding fabric in all just the right colors and patterns. Typography, illustration, words, color, 2D design, that's graphic design. That's what I wanted to do with my life. I applied to art schools. I applied to RISD, Pratt, Parsons School of Design, got into all of them, but I decided New York City, Manhattan, was really where I wanted to study design. I rolled up the 21 quilt pieces, tied a big red ribbon around them, and used the quilt pieces as my portfolio to get into the communication design department at Parsons. Once accepted, I set the quilt aside. I had endless projects to complete over the next few years. But this unfinished project wasn't done giving. I spent years ignoring it, and a number of years feeling burdened by the unfinished nature of the project. I also spent way too much time making all kinds of judgments and excuses about why I would never even want to finish it. Like, wasn't the design just too juvenile? I mean, I wanted to think I had developed a more sophisticated design sensibility. Or I had wanted a usable quilt, but these pieces had turned out to be complex and too fragile to stand up to daily use. Very impractical. Or how about this one? With my lack of experience, I hadn't included enough seam allowance in some of my pieces. How would they ever fit together into one big quilt as planned? As the years marched on and the fabric was vintage 1973, modern fabric doesn't quite match up. And since I wasn't satisfied with the designs for the missing letters, I started making lists of B, F, L, V, and W words to inspire better designs. But my heart wasn't in the making part. Oh yeah, I lost all the pieces for a good 10 years, maybe more. Accidentally, on purpose, I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. I could go on and on with excuses and reasons not to finish this project. But there are a few people in my life who every once in a while ask about the quilt and encourage me to finish it. And there is this little voice that pipes up every so often, would you just finish the damn quilt? But, hey, this unfinished project keeps on giving. It cemented my enduring passion for graphic design, and it got me into a top-notch design school. It exposed my judgmental thinking and self-criticism, and it got me up here tonight to face my fears in public speaking. One thing it didn't do is keep me warm through that raw Edinburgh winter. You know, I don't think I'm gonna finish it. I think I'm gonna patiently wait for the next challenge it sends my way. Any of you out here have any unfinished business or any unfinished projects? What's your unfinished project trying to teach you? Thank you.